It is safe to say today that honesty, hard work, godliness have given way to all kinds of manifestations of lawlessness and degeneration in our national life. This is why we have among our cardinal objectives change, which implies the need for a change of attitude and mindset in our everyday life. I need not mention the serious efforts we have engaged in since the inception of this administration on the fight against corruption in our public life. With the progress we have so far made in that regard, we feel the need to ensure that we put in place the necessary sustainable framework for action and measures that will help to entrench and consolidate the progress achieved so far. This, we believe, can best be maintained through attitudinal change and the change for our mindset in private and public life. The campaign we are about to launch today is about the need for us to see change, not merely in terms of our economic, social progress, but in terms of our personal behavior on how we conduct ourselves, engage neighbors, friends, and generally how we relate with the larger society in a positive and definitive way and manner that promotes our common good and common destiny. Change at home, change in the workplace, change at traffic junction, change at traffic lights, etc. This campaign is part of the determination of our party to seek to carry Nigerians along on the journey to a better and greater society that we can call and be proud of. There is no doubt that our value system has been badly eroded over the years. The long cherished and time-honored, time-tested virtues of honesty, integrity, hard work, punctuality, good neighborliness, abhorrence of corruption, and patriotism have given way in the main to dishonesty, intolerance, indolence, unbridled corruption, and widespread impunity. The resultant effect of this derailment in our value system is being felt in the social, political, and economic sphere. It is the reason that some youth will take to cultism and brigandage instead of studying hard or engaging in decent living. It is the reason that some elements will break pipelines and other oil facilities, thus robbing the nation of much needed resources. It is the reason that money belonging to our commonwealth will be brazenly stolen by the same public officials to whom they were entrusted. It is the reason why motorists drive through red traffic lights. It is the reason that many will engage in thuggery and vote stealing during elections. It is part of what has driven our economy into deep problems, out of which we are now working hard to extricate ourselves. Every one of us must have a change from our old days of doing things. We cannot fold our arms and allow things to continue the old way. We must resist the temptation to fall back on the same partisanship, pettiness, and immaturity that have poisoned our country for so long. Let us summon a new spirit of responsibility, spirit of service, of patriotism, and sacrifice. Let us all resolve to pitch in and work hard and look after not only ourselves, but one another. What the current problem has taught us is that we cannot have a thriving army of rent seekers and vested interests while the majority suffers. Rather than sit back and complain endlessly, we have decided to act pragmatically with the launch of the National Reorientation Campaign. The campaign will not be a sprint, but a marathon that will run the course of our tenure. We are under no illusion that the changes we seek will happen overnight. But we have no doubt that the campaign will help restore our value system and rekindle our nationalistic power. I am therefore appealing to all Nigerians to be part of this campaign. Our students must realize that the change they want to see begins with them, and that personal and social reforms are not a theoretic exercise. If you have not seen the change in you, you cannot see it in others, or even the larger society. In other words, before you ask, where is the change they promise us? You must first ask, how far have I changed my ways? What have I done to be part of the change for the greater good of society? While the government will drive the change begins with me campaign, it must be strongly supported by all concerned individually. In this regard, the private sector is a major stakeholder. Indeed, when the campaign succeeds, it will impact heavily on the private sector. A punctual, diligent, and hard-working staff can only be of benefit of not just himself or herself or the organization they work for, but to various governments, whether at local, state, or federal level. While congratulating the stakeholders, especially Ministry of Information and Culture, excuse me, and the National Orientation Agency for conceiving this campaign, I charge all to pursue the campaign with vigor and ensure its sustenance by taking it to all the nook and crannies of this great country, with the aim of getting the buy-in of the old, the young, the rich, the poor, irrespective of gender or other social positions. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, members of the National Assembly, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure to formally launch and hand over the instrument of the Change campaign tagged Change Begins With Me to the Honorable Minister for Information and Culture for transmission to all Nigerians and friends of Nigeria. Indeed, I say, to the glory of Almighty Allah, change begins with me. Thank you all.
say Mr. Perry, thank you, Mr. President. How we give a standing ovation as he stands up, ladies and gentlemen.
They do down, they do forward. So, everything should be fixed. We should fix it. Don't need Mr. Chancellor to communicate to you.
Which is the time? Don't touch it.
Right now, you don't.
Don't touch it. The service.
Those people are coming here to and we are covering it for them by using our people.
Just start the program and then the customer.